Hey there, world, Sensiland, all of you who may or may not be viewing live or the recording. I don't care which one. I'm still happy you're here watching us. This is the very first show of the Glow Sisters and Scent Firefly Chats. We have Dawn, Spice Dawn. I'll let you say hello. And we have Edie Ann with us today, and Katie Farner.
Hi.
And the beautiful Jamie Solins had her Wi-Fi go out, and I apologize. She should be joining us soon, but she will absolutely be on all of our chats from here on out. We're hoping that she'll pop in here soon. Why is it? Can you guys hear that?
I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Hold on. Here, one second. Okay. It should be going down. Sorry. I am so sorry. Technology. I had our live broadcast open on another tab, and so I heard myself talking to myself, so everyone's getting this. I was like, who's repeating after me? We're good. Sorry, guys. This is our first broadcast, reminding you. First broadcast. Love us through it. And I'm Christina Sainbrook. I think I said that already, but now I'm just all flustered and excited, and that's just how I am. So I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the Glow and what the purpose of it was. Yay, Jamie's here.
Yay.
I think like last year at Leadership, Edie and I had mentioned getting together for like making a video, all of us together at Leadership, and those events get so crazy. And then just a few weeks ago, all of a sudden, we were like, why don't we just do it digitally, like on YouTube, on the place where we do all our business? And we thought that'd be awesome, and we got everybody together, and the whole crew is here. The purpose of this is really just to show everybody, which is our individual YouTube accounts, how big sisterhood and all that wonderful goodness is within Scentsy. We are actually all friends. We actually all know each other. We are not islands on YouTube. You don't just go to somebody's channel and they're doing business just for themselves, all by themselves, all alone. We're all actually like besties. And I know that is going to blow your mind hole, because I think some people don't realize how close Scentsy sisters really are when they try to be. Especially people who go to events, people who've gone to boot camp, people who've gone to reunion, incentive trips, anything like that's going to get you really plugged into other people who are like-minded, just like you, and then you're going to build those really strong friendships. And we're really lucky that those of us on YouTube have all met each other, and we've gotten to get to know each other, and we all work together in a way. You know, we all make our own videos, but we are a community. We support each other. We all believe that a rising tide lifts all boats, which is one reason we all make videos. We like to make sure that we're filling the ocean with more water so that everybody's boats get all lifted up. So we have some questions. I am the facilitator this evening, and we're going to switch that role every single week. But I'm the facilitator this evening. And I'm going to ask some questions of our beautiful panelists here today, and each of them are going to answer them for you. So you're going to kind of get to know us a little bit. And the first question, and Dawn's going to answer first, is how long have you been in Scentsy?
Well, let me tell you, tomorrow, June 2nd, is my 4-year Scentsy anniversary!
Yay! Happy Scentsy anniversary!
Yay! There's a better way to celebrate it than with all of you. So 4 years tomorrow. Woo!
Awesome. And Edie, how long have you been with Scentsy?
I've been with Scentsy for 4 years. So I started on December 30th of 2010.
Awesome. Jamie, how long have you been with Scentsy?
I guess I'm an old-timer compared to you guys. 6.5 years.
Wow.
It was way back October of '08.
Sweet,
Nice.
6.5 years. You are
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Vintage.
Katie, how long have you been with Cincy?
So I actually just celebrated my 5th centiversary. I joined May of 2010.
Awesome.
Nice. Nice.
I guess I'm kind of the baby then. I've been with Cincy for 3 years. My 4-year is in November 17th. Isaac Hansen's birthday. You can Google that if you want to. It's not for me. As anybody who knows me well knows, I'm obsessed with Hansen. And I'm not ashamed. All right.
And I maybe have a little bit of a background with Hanson, so.
Oh, yeah, Jamie does. That's actually how we started talking.
Yeah.
Hansen! Okay, next question, ladies. Are we ready? What do you attribute, like if you could just describe your success in a very short blurb, doesn't really have to be that short, but a blurb, about what you think has made you successful. What do you think has been the common thread in your Cincy journey that has kept you going and kept you successful? Ready? Spiced on.
Well, I would say the aspect of this business that has been the best fit for me is video. And here is the reason. Because at my age, I am 53 now, my flashes of genius come few and far between. Okay? So, I also forget more things now. So, if I don't have it on video, I can't have an accurate explanation or a description, or everybody would get a different story and explanation. So I really think that video works for me just because you can say it once, and if somebody needs to hear it again, they can just play it, and then they can play it, and they can play it. And it won't lose anything in the translation if we rely on my mind.
So if I had to pick one word, I would say maybe consistency.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
At my old job many years ago, I was the delivery coordinator at a dealership. So we would have a very consistent new car delivery. So thank you. Consistency and rituals and routines, real big in my book.
Awesome. All right, Edie, what would you say is the thread of your success?
I think for me, it's building relationships, whether it's been online, through Facebook, through YouTube, or doing home parties. It's been really the ultimate part of what I've been successful in, is building the relationships and sharing the opportunity with people and sharing the product with people, but knowing that it's not the first thing that comes in a conversation. You know, that we are people and we're humans, and that we have conversation, and then I can compliment somebody and not mention Cincy, or build on a relationship with people and get, you know, I make friends that way, and, you know, even if they don't join or they don't buy, I've made a friend. So I think that the biggest success, and honestly the part that I've enjoyed the most has been building relationships, no matter what platform it is, whether it's face-to-face or online. So for me, it's definitely building relationships.
Awesome. Jamie, what do you think is your driver for your business?
I almost hate to answer it this way because I don't want someone to think that they have to be like me to be successful. But I think more than anything, it's my outgoing personality and my lack of fear. Like, I'm never afraid to talk to someone. I'm never afraid to try something new in the business, because the way I see it, if it doesn't work, okay, so if I try something new in the business, if it doesn't work, I haven't lost anything. I still have a great team. I still have great customer base. If I go up and talk to a random stranger and I come across as a total dork or a weirdo, who cares, because I'm probably never going to see them again anyway. So I think it's my lack of fear in a lot of areas that makes me an outgoing person.
Awesome. So Edie's was relationships, and Dawn was consistency, and you would be just being fearless, being brave.
Absolutely. But like I said, it doesn't mean you have to be outgoing to be successful.
Also true. Katie Farner, what would you
So,
say is your underlying awesomeness thread?
well, I feel like things that Edie said and Jamie said both fit me as well. And I feel like you guys might agree, but I feel like at different seasons of your business, it's kind of different things. Like for me, when I first started, it was my eagerness to share the product and my passion about the product and my eagerness to do the home parties. Like home parties were the core of my business and what built my business for my first 3 years or so. And then more recently, it's become, like Edie said, transitioning those relationships that I have formed into social media relationships and fueling those relationships through social media. And now with YouTube, expanding that relationship connection ability even larger. So I feel like for me, it's transitioned some. You know, the home parties are still definitely the heart of my business as well. But so I think different seasons in your business, you'll have different things that are really fueling it.
Awesome. So I'm feeling like maybe home parties, enthusiasm, and just getting the product out there and sharing it and things like that at all times probably is a really great strategy.
Yeah, and like Jamie said, I don't have any fear of sharing stuff with people. I don't care
Right.
what they think. Like
Yeah.
I know that I'm sharing it from a place of genuineness. Like I really think you're going to love this stuff, so I just want you to
Right.
know about it because it's the best. So to me, if they think I'm a weirdo, like Jamie said, you know, it's being fearless as well. I think everything everyone has
Right.
shared is so right on.
Awesome. Okay, well, hello, Christina. What do you think that back to me? That is probably the underlying. I don't even know, guys. Usually, if somebody asks me what makes me successful, I'm like, I'm successful? Like, I don't think of me that way. I just have a lot of fun. I don't even believe that this is actually my real job. I think that my business is extremely rooted in being authentic. I know anyone who knows me knows I have really bad social anxiety. I actually am extremely fearful of talking to people. I don't like attention. I didn't even want to have a wedding because I didn't want people looking at me. So that's one reason actually I make YouTube videos, because it's not really like anyone's watching because nobody's actually in my room with me, and it's my way of being able to say what I mean the first time, because I stumble on my words a lot when I'm talking to people face to face. I have a really hard time saying everything I mean to say and things like that. So, and I'm also really real with people about that. So I'm really authentic. I feel like I'm very, very honest. I had like a couple other things I was going to say, and of course, like I said, when I'm face to face, I forget. But mine has also been enthusiasm. I don't think I've ever stopped getting ridiculously psyched about Scentsy, the company, the products, the people I've met. As far as sharing Scentsy, nobody would have to tell me to share it because I can't stop sharing it. So no matter what I'm doing, I'm always sharing it. Share, 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 share like crazy. It's like I don't even realize I'm doing it anymore because it's such a huge part of my life. So I would say maybe in summary is making Scentsy a huge part of your life and just living Scentsy in everything you do. So
Absolutely.
live it. All
And
right.
for you
Absolutely.
is lifestyle, Christina.
Lifestyle, what?
Summing it up for you in a nutshell would be lifestyle.
I think so, probably. I think so. It's like when you ask somebody what's one word to describe you, and everyone says Scentsy, and I'm like, well, there we have it. Awesome. Okay. Woo! That's true. So our next question, you guys, we're gonna have to like chat for a while. We're blowing through these, except for excited. Maybe we can think of other questions. We'll see. But our next one is, what are our hopes for the show? So I'm going to start with Dawn. What are you hoping that this show conveys to Cincyland, maybe does for you, and maybe does with just your business in general, or with people in general, or the Cincy community in general? Anything, whatever you feel like this show is geared toward.
All right. In the original form, the question was, what are my hopes for this show?
Go for it.
Well, to be honest, I just hope I don't become too authentic and let a bad word slip. Because you know that
He's the
girl
spicy
your
one.
mom didn't want you hanging out with when you were a little kid. Well, I am not that girl, okay? I am a fairly goody two-shoes kind of girl in my head. But I was friends with that other girl that your mom didn't want you hanging out with. And I picked up some of her colorful language, and it slips out when I'm having fun. So I apologize ahead of time if I slip. But seriously, I've been somewhat blessed in my business life, and if I can share some enthusiasm or inspire someone to try something that may have worked well for me, then this show may be the way to do it, because that's what it's all about. If you've had good things in your life, you want to try to help other people have good things in their life, and that's what I hope for.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Sharing the blessing. Edie Ann, your turn.
You know, Christina, you and I had already talked about kind of what our hopes for this show was, and I think for me, it's, you know, the YouTube community is the YouTube community, and we're out there making videos, and people can watch, and some do and some don't. But I think the common thread with a lot, with the 5 of us anyway, is that we are so willing to help, to educate, to inspire, and to motivate, and to have all of us together doing that in one space for people who might watch us individually could just potentially put someone in a realm of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, to have enough confidence to be able to do things themselves, maybe make YouTube videos themselves, maybe to get out there and do home parties, because that might be a topic that we talk about, or to recruit and have conversations with people. And I just think that to have like minds together can be a very powerful source for people to come to on a monthly basis, and to get recharged, and to get information, and to be motivated, and maybe have a few laughs because of Dawn or whatever. But I just think, for me, I'm really hoping that we are going to be even more inspiring than I know you girls already are. I mean, you guys inspire me all the time. I watch your videos all the time. I am friends with you guys. We have conversations, and you motivate and you inspire me, and I'm hoping that we're going to be able to do that to the people watching. So that's my hope, is that we can inspire hundreds, if not thousands, of people out there to either go beyond their, what I call the anxiety zone. Other people call it a comfort zone. You don't like being in the comfort zone because it's anxiety driven, so let's get out of it. So that's what I'm hoping.
I love it. Jamie.
I totally agree with Edie, just about the inspiration, and I have another one too, and I'll get to that. But I was talking to another consultant today, someone that I'm parallel to in the business, and we actually got to talking about Katie today. And it was so funny because this person I was talking to, it was Kaylin Johnson I was talking to, and we were talking about a Facebook post that I had done this past week, and how it had been very beneficial to my business. And she said, well, Jamie, that's so brilliant, I'm going to copy it. And I said, well, yeah, it's brilliant, copy it, but totally wasn't me. I stole it from Katie. And we just got to talking about how awesome Katie is and how I steal all her stuff, and I just copy her, and that's why I'm good. And
No.
she said that, but she said, isn't it funny though, because if you ever have heard Katie speak, she starts most of her speeches talking about me.
It's true.
And so it's really just kind of the circle about how, you know, when you find someone that inspires you and makes you want to be better, be friends with them, reach out to them, because it's amazing how that can flip-flop sometimes. And it's not just a one-way inspiration. It can be 2 ways. But also, one hope that I really have for this is that people see that we're not a backstabbing business. We're not in the business to cut other consultants down in the hopes of getting a customer. because Scentsy's not the first direct sales company I've done. It's actually the fifth. But it's the first I've made money with. It's the first I've had fun with. It's the first that I've wanted to do longer than 6 months. Obviously, if I'm 6.5 years in. But that's one of my hopes for this show is that you guys can see. Okay, does anyone else hear an echo?
Yeah, hold on. I think
Yeah.
got it.
I'm like, I know that I can hear myself talking, but.
Okay, we should be good now.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it's much better.
So, in conclusion, I want to inspire people, but I want people to see that Scentsy doesn't have to be like any other negative experience of a direct sales company that you've ever had. Scentsy is what you make it, and Scentsy is, for us, what we have made it.
I like it.
Absolutely.
I love it. Love it.
All right, Katie.
So for me, last year at Reunion when Heidi talked about the connection, love, and kindness, for me, that's what I want this show to share. There's so many people who maybe can't afford to go to Reunion or, haven't earned an incentive trip to be able to go to Reunion yet and haven't had that experience. The majority of our Scentsy brothers and sisters haven't been. And so my hope, I know it might sound kind of lofty, but my hope from this is that they can experience like even a small glimmer of what that kind of sense of family feels like that we all experience at Reunion or at Spring Sprint or on the incentive trips like Christina mentioned before. Because when I attended my first Scentsy reunion, I left like literally bawling. Like I did not want to go home. It completely, like I just went there and I got it. I got it. I understood how important we were to the home office. I understood that Heidi and Orville truly love us. Like they literally love us. And I felt the love and the connection from so many people that I'd never met before, but just reached out to me and took me in. Like I was part of their team, like I was their own. And so my hope is that through watching this, you can see more of that connection, love, and kindness that's part of the Scentsy family that's ingrained in all of us. And like I think it was Christina mentioned, we're all on YouTube. It might look like we're all doing our separate things, but we're all connected. And we're connected at the core of wanting to encourage and inspire and uplift our sisters who are trying to grow. And like for me, when I started, I think it was one of Joel's classes at Leadership Retreat. He talked about how our challenges or our obstacles can either be a excuse or part of our story. And for me, I chose my lack of support from a sponsor, my lack of support from Upline when I got started. At first, I chose that to be my excuse. And then when I went to Reunion, and yes, heard Jamie and some other amazing people share their stories, Jamie just really touched me because she was talking about how much she loves shoes, and I love shoes, so I was like, this girl's cool. But they made me realize that despite all of that stuff, I still could choose to succeed. That was really my choice, no one else's. So I chose at that point to make those challenges part of my story. And I think not having that support actually made me stronger. And so I have a soft spot in my heart for all those people out there who maybe feel like they don't have a supportive sponsor. So I'm excited and hope that this also can be a great resource for them as well, to encourage them and help them see that they too can achieve all of those things despite that obstacle.
Very nice.
Amazing. I love you all. I don't even feel like I should speak now because that was totally like A++. I love it. For me, mine's a lot like Katie's. And I struggle saying I don't have a supportive upline because I've always made it a point in my heart to be accepting to healing of any relationships with my upline. So I try not to use that even as, I don't know, that's another story. But including this month, I just rolled up again. I keep rolling up. So my sponsors changed at least 5 times. My very first training was I found videos on YouTube of people speaking at spring sprints. I found like a booking game video that I used at all my first parties. I found Jacqueline Roy's spring sprint speech about having fun parties and booking parties, and she had like a story game, so I played the story game because Jacqueline Roy did, and if she's on YouTube, she must be incredible, and I did not realize how incredible she truly was at that moment. And then Allison Dalkey, and I also didn't realize that she was that awesome either. I just was using their videos that I'd found. I found her video on recruiting being a blessing, not a burden, and that's why I felt like right out of the gate, I never felt weird about offering the opportunity to people, because why? Why are you scared to like let people in on awesomeness? There's nothing to be scared of. So my way of contributing to that community has always been YouTube, because that's where I learned how to do Scentsy. I didn't have anyone to talk to. And then as I started going to Scentsy events and stuff and meeting these people in real life, I started learning more about how important the community is within Scentsy, and I started learning so much more about the heart of Scentsy, especially when it comes to like authenticity, like being yourself, and showing people that it's okay to be a goober. And I'm hoping that that's, I don't know, I'm a rambler also. So anyway. This whole thing I'm just excited about. Everyone said everything that I feel is going to be the driving force behind this podcast, or not podcast. I keep wanting to call it a podcast. It's not. It's like a YouTube cast, or who knows. But I love these women, and I love so many other people that I've met on the Scentsy journey. And not only do I think that this broadcast is for people who watch YouTube videos all the time, but maybe it's even for those who've been struggling with making YouTube videos all the time. I've heard people say that they don't feel like they have anything to offer the YouTube community because people like us are making videos all the time. And I'm like, honestly, that's not even true. I have girls on my team who just started making YouTube videos. They have 3 subscribers, but they have people already that they've met through YouTube. It's its own kind of fun community. I say get plugged in, make those videos, don't be scared, but also understand the community we have here at YouTube. It is all based on Scentsy's core values. We give more than we take. We believe in being authentic. We believe in simplicity, generosity. We believe in the heart of Scentsy. We love Scentsy. We are also all available to anybody for questions. I don't care if it's 2 a.m. You could message me on Facebook. And I know that all of them feel the same way. They don't mind being messaged. And I feel like that's something that kind of brought us all together, as we kind of realized that we were all getting messages a lot from people on YouTube who don't have sponsor support, who don't have anyone to talk to, who feel really alone out there in Cincyland, which, man, Cincyland, don't be alone in Cincyland. Please don't be alone, because we are one of the most connected direct sales companies. Please get plugged in. If you are alone, message somebody like us, and we can help get you plugged in somewhere that fits you. And I feel like I'm hoping that this right here becomes a place that some people feel connected and accepted and loved. If it's just once a month, you know that you get to come hang out with us. I don't care what it is. And I don't mean that like saying, hey, you get to come sit at our lunch table. No, like literally, we love you and we want to be in this community with you. And if this is our way of showing that community to you, then so be it. Whatever this evolves into, we hope that it is beneficial to the entire Scentsy community and each other. Like, I hope that I can bless these ladies in some way, and I'm excited to learn from them. I'm always ready to learn. So,
Christina, I want to jump in real quick and say something.
Yes.
Just to kind of piggyback off of what you said, and then to touch on what Katie mentioned, Reunion is coming up. So we'll be in Vegas in a little over a month. And I just want to say that I'm going to speak for all of us and say, if you see us, say hi to us. Please introduce yourself. Because I've had some girls that have come up to me before and said, oh, I saw you at this spring sprint, and this spring sprint, and this spring sprint. But you always had people around you, and I didn't want to interrupt. And you guys, anyone watching this, is just as special to me as whoever I'm talking to. Well, unless maybe it's my husband. He might be a little bit more special, but we want to meet all of you guys. We love you guys as consultants because, I mean, we've heard this word family over and over and over on this, but that's truly what it is. So especially if you're one of those that feel alone, that you don't feel like you have help, please introduce yourself to one of us. I know all 5 of us would love to meet you and would love to just connect with you and help you in your journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had people say to me before, oh, I was too shy or whatever to come and say hi, and it's silly. We are just normal people. I always say we're just normal people. We got purple glitter running through our veins just like you do. We're just normal people.
I think one thing that makes my husband laugh is sometimes we'll be at an event, and I don't mind doing this. Please don't feel like you shouldn't, but when somebody comes up to me and is like, can I please have my picture taken with you? And he goes, honey, do they actually know who you are? Because if they really knew who you were, they probably wouldn't be asking for a picture taken with you.
No.
I was like, I promise I try to show them who I really am. I'm a goober. But no, I love it. If it means I get to meet somebody, sure, take pictures.
Yeah.
I love it. It's awesome. All right, we need to move on to Cincy stories. We have about 10 minutes left, unless somebody else has something to add. No? All right, we have 10 minutes left, and Dawn is going to share with us her Cincy story, a 2-minute Cincy story. In 1 second, let me get you. Oh, man. I muted you somehow, and I don't know how to unmute. Let me. Oh, goodness. Of course it's going to give me difficulties.
Maybe Dawn
Hey,
manually.
Dawn, at the very top of your screen, there should be like a little microphone. Can you unmute that?
Unmute now.
Yay! Hello.
Yay.
And the reason that you had to mute me is because the echo everyone was hearing was pumpkin. If I had put him outside my office, he would have been like, meow, meow, meow. So all of a sudden then, he decided it was time to try to get my attention. So I apologize on behalf of my yellow kitty.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin. All right, what was the question?
Your 2-minute
your
Cincy
story. Your 120-second Cincy story. 2 minutes or less.
Okie dokie. Well, I wrote it down because you know I'm a talker. Well,
me too. I should have done that.
I wish that Cincy had been around 22 years ago when the desire to have a home-based business hit me. There was nothing out there that interested me, so I kind of had to start my own. At that point, I was married to a fellow that didn't have a lot of time for me because of his dairy farm and hockey 4 nights a week and tinkering with the car in his garage on all the other nights. So I needed to fill my life. I never had kids, so I had a void, and a business seemed like it would suit me. Had Cincy been born that long ago, I would have joined on day 1, simply because I love the product line so much. I mean, I drive my friends nuts. Here, smell this. You know, like I really have always loved scents, and it's just such a safe way to have fragrance in your home. So since joining Cincy, I quickly developed a deep respect for our owners and the home office staff. I mean, when you go to the events and these people come up to you, like many of you have said, they genuinely care about us. I mean, really. It's not put on. We make a difference and we matter as consultants. That respect that I have continues to grow. However, the best part of this business are the friends that I've met and the relationships that I've built, not just locally, but all over the world. I mean, really. Sometimes I have to, like, pinch myself to, like, know that this is for real. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Edie, what is your Cincy story?
Um, well, she gave me a good idea. I might read my story off of my site a little bit, but I guess a big part of my story is that, I came from, believe it or not, a very negative background. About 15 years ago, if you would have said that I was going to be successful at anything, I would have looked at you and said, okay, not happening. And 4 years ago, I was starting a new path in my life. I had met my fiance Ben, and I was starting a new phase in my life and trying to work on other direct sales business, and it just wasn't working. And Sensi kind of landed in my lap. So it's not, a glamorous story. But one of the things that we talk about all the time is how our story changes over time. And my story at the beginning of my journey is definitely different than now. And Sensi has really become a catalyst for me for some really amazing things, whether it's been friendships or traveling to places like Greece or, being able to take vacations with my family because I can afford to do that now. There's just been some really amazing things that have happened because of Sensi. And yes, it's a great product. Yes, it's a great opportunity. And I would be awfully selfish not to share that opportunity with others, knowing what it has done for me. And, the ethos that they talk about with simplicity, generosity, and authenticity, that's something that I try to live by now. So it's not just something that a company suggests that we do. I'm actually living that, and I'm a much better person for it. And someone who knew me 15, 20 years ago, and it's been said to me, Edie, you are a changed person. You are totally different. You're much more happy. You're positive. You're enlivened. I love that word, and I love that scent.
I have it on my desk.
Bring back my bug.
I know. So my story is just that, and it's totally evolving, and it's totally changing, and always moving in a better direction. And I'm so absolutely grateful. And I'm even, and I have to add this. I was going to say this a minute ago. I kind of feel like sitting here listening to all of you guys, you still are all my idols. And I'm very blessed to be part of this panel. So thank you for having that. But thank you, Sensi, because Sensi's making it all happen. Look, I'm going to get all verklempt.
I love it. I love it. Jamie.
Well, as I said, I'm an old timer here, 6.5 years. So my story has changed a great deal. Can you hear my husband in the kitchen making all this loud racket? I'm so sorry. So my story has greatly changed. So I started 6.5 years ago. I was a teacher, and I just wanted this smelly good stuff in my classroom because kids stink. And so I bought some, used it up, decided to have a basket party, and within a week, just setting these testers out, I had sold $600 worth, something like that, in the teacher's lounge. So it was kind of stupid not to sign up. I mean, I was going to make back my starter kit money right there. So I signed up. I really didn't think anything of this because, like I said, I'd done 4 other companies before, and they were a pain in my bootay. So I was not going to do this again. But I signed up and started making some money, and I thought, well, shoot, I'm going to get some new shoes. And so I started buying really cute shoes and going to the mall a lot and going to my favorite stores to buy new clothes. And my friends started getting jealous of all my cute new clothes. So they started signing up too. And my team just started to grow naturally because of that. Well, at that point, like I said, I was a teacher. I loved teaching, but teaching didn't make me a very kind person to my kids. I was a special education teacher, so it took a lot of patience, and all of my patience went to those kids at school. So there I was giving my everything to these kids that weren't my kids. And I started to realize that. So at that point, I realized I was onto something with this Scentsy thing, and started working it a little bit harder to the point where a year and a half into my business, I quit teaching. I quit my full-time job, and I became a better mom, more like the mom I envisioned myself being. So that's really the Cincy story of where I am today, but there is a future within my Cincy story because my husband and I really have a heart for mission work, and we really see ourselves somewhere on the mission field once our kids have graduated. We don't know where it's going to be, Haiti, Honduras, who knows where God's going to plop us down, but I'm building a legacy right now in my business that can fund my work in the future. And so that's really what my dream is with Cincy. I'm working my booty off now to build a team that can give me residual income via the internet when I'm in a third world country. Mm-hmm. So I mean that's long term. That's big scheme of things, but that's possible because of this candle business.
Yay!
Yay!
I love that so much. I just got really excited to go work my business.
I know.
Good. Katie.
So my story began, I was introduced to Scentsy from a friend of mine. Her mom actually was selling Scentsy. She is from Utah, and she introduced me to Scentsy 9 years ago. So I got introduced to it pretty early on, and I still kick myself to this day. I wish I would have joined back then, but, you know, hindsight and all that. So I was introduced to Scentsy 9 years ago, given it as a gift, and at the time I was managing a clothing boutique, and I'll admit it, I was a big candle snob. Like, she gave me this Scentsy thing, and I was like, I like put it away in my closet. I was like, whatever, my candles are great. And so I didn't even use it for like a couple weeks, and then I finally used it, and I was blown away. I was not married, I was living at home at the time, and my mom and I were both like totally impressed. So for 4 years, my mom and I drove an hour to where this woman lived, and we would buy Scentsy cash and carry from her. We didn't even know like I could sell it. We didn't know that you could host parties. We just went there, bought from her stock, and stocked up, and it was like Scentsy crack, you know. Like, so anyway, then she decided to move back to Utah. So I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And she goes, well, you know, you can sell it and just buy it from yourself. So I thought, okay, cool. So I signed up to sell it, and my launch party was literally like, those of you who are watching this who are familiar with your sensational start, you've got 70 days. My launch party was at like 68 days. I didn't even like realize, like I didn't pay any attention to any of that. But it was a huge success. And from there, my business just started growing kind of organically. And I had 3 people come to me wanting to join. I did not want to recruit them. I tried to talk them out of joining my team because that clothing boutique I mentioned, I was fired from that boutique because they said I was basically a crappy leader. So I didn't want to lead anyone. And then I went to our convention, and everything changed. I had that light bulb moment where I saw all the potential in front of me, saw all these cool, awesome people like Jamie that I'm like, they can do this, I can do this. You know, so I just went home and completely changed everything. And nothing, I'm a completely different person today. My business is completely different. It's just, that moment completely changed my future. And I'm so grateful for it because now I truly feel like I am living out what God created me to do. This business not only can be a great opportunity to build income and develop yourself as an individual and a person, but it also can be a ministry. And so I try to make sure that all of those choices and all of those things I share are pleasing to God, and I'm just really grateful for it. I give him the glory because he's really, really blessed my business, and I'm thrilled to be walking this journey and that he chose it for me. So that's kind of my story.
Yay! Yay! All right, I'm going to tell my story, and then I will wrap us up. Holy moly, guys. I kind of forgot that we were doing this live, and I looked down, and we have 41 viewers. Hello, I'm psyched.
That's awesome!
I was like, yay! We're live! Oh, yeah, there's people watching
I got a Facebook message from one of them already.
I know. I hope that everyone who's watching right now, please reach out to us and let us know what you thought. I'm gonna go ahead and share my story. Oh, 40. I'm going to share my story. I started selling Scentsy really randomly one day, I remember my first impression of Scentsy was, that sounds pretty useless. My friend was having a party, and I saw like all the testers and that they put wax in these like electric things. I was like, why don't you just buy a freaking candle? And so I kind of blew it off for a couple of years, and then I kind of forgot that it ever existed. And then one day, my friend signed up, a completely different friend, signed up for Scentsy, posted the link on her profile page, and for some weird reason, I was like, I'll click that link. I'll join this thing. And I was like, easiest recruit ever. She didn't even know I was going to join. I just signed up because I thought it'd be really fun to open that starter kit and smell everything, and then I wasn't going to do anything with it. Like, I didn't really want to do anything with it. I just really wanted the starter kit. Like, I really just wanted the kidnap. But then I invited my friend over when my starter kit came, and I was like, hey, come over. I got this big box of things that smell good. We should smell them together. And then she wanted to buy stuff. And then my dad wanted to buy stuff. And then my mom wanted to buy stuff. And it just kind of got to the point where I was like, okay, I'll put some orders in. And I threw a launch party, and it wasn't great. And I made my 500 for Shooting Star because my dad bought stuff. He bought like $200 of that Shooting Star. So he was, yeah, definitely huge in the beginning because he thought it was really neat, and he wanted me to focus on it and get going on it. So I had a little 1-year-old baby at home, and I was working like 60 to 70 hours a week in an accounting firm. And I hated it, every single moment of it. I would go days on end without seeing my child, and I was breastfeeding him. So if anybody understands how horrible that is, trying to keep that much milk at work fresh without anybody asking questions all the time. And I'd work overnights. Like, it was supposed to be a 9-to-5 job, and I would find myself at the office from 5 a.m. till like 8 a.m. the next day, like just working straight through the night, because if I didn't do my work, no one would. And we had deadlines all the time. And I missed my child. I had postpartum depression really bad, and I had finally just started bonding with him, and it hit me that I was missing so much of what was going on with his life. So I had this little Cincy thing going on, and a couple months into it, I was kind of about ready to give up because I was really exhausted. I was doing a lot of different things. My dad was really sick, and I just had so much stuff going on in my life. That I was like, this just doesn't make sense. But for some reason, God sent me this woman named Jackie Jones who kind of breathed life into my Cincy business. I'm not even going to tell you the whole story of how we met, but she was a director, and she did it full time, and I was like, you're joking me. I thought this was all like just a joke. Nobody actually does. Nobody reaches those higher compensation plan levels. They're just there for decoration. So I didn't think that that was possible, and I met her, and it was totally possible. And from that moment, I realized, I'm going to make this happen. I don't care what it takes. I don't care who I make mad. I don't care how much I have to work at my real job on my Cincy business to make this happen. And I started praying a lot about my business, and God kept kind of leading me to different areas and bringing different people to me. And in February, about 4 months after I signed up, my dad was in the hospital, and I knew he wasn't going to leave the hospital. He was at the end of his cancer journey. And I sat in the hospital because I got the week off work, and I worked my business like crazy while I was in the hospital. And I know that most people use that as an excuse, and I should be really, really empathetic towards people who have excuses like that, but I don't because when my dad was dying, I worked my business. He was in a coma. There wasn't a lot I was going to be able to do to talk to him, but I knew that he loved Cincy and he loved my business, and so I decided I was going to work it. And I recruited my first 4 people the day before my dad died. And then I recruited 2 more the week of his funeral. And I didn't even know, when I recruited these people, I didn't even know that we had monthly specials. It wasn't until I was 6 months into Cincy that I had any idea we had monthly specials. So it was just one of those really completely random, sporadic, Cincy story jumping things. Like, I just did it because I had to, and I wanted to work myself out of a job. And finally one day I got to quit my job, and I haven't looked back for 2 years. So I get to stay home raising my little boy, and I realized that that was part of my story too, because we found out we can't have any more children. And so just the mere fact that God gave me the last 2 years to raise my son and to be home with him all the time because of this awesome thing called Cincy. So that's my Cincy story, and it just gets better every single day, and more happens all the time, and it's just so exciting. So we are over time, kind of. Our goal was 45 minutes, but we got started a little late. I hope that you guys all enjoyed the first broadcast of the glow. And I meant to say earlier, we chose the glow. Jamie said it in our group when we were trying to decide on our name. We were throwing around a bunch of like kind of silly things. And then Jamie's like, the glow. And then all of us were like, like duh, like the glow,
like hello,
like obviously, because there's so much packed into that word. I like when I hear the glow, I think of reunion when Heidi had everyone holding up their cell phones and called us all fireflies, and then I think of my favorite warmers glowing. And I think of the light that we're told to shed on others as like a glow, and I hope that I'm glowing all the time. So I feel like it just encompasses so much in that one word about our mission with this broadcast. And then we decided it was going to be sisters and scent because we knew that sisterhood was such a huge thing about what we were doing, and scent obviously because duh. And then we did Firefly chat because you know fireside chats, but Firefly, duh. Like it just all came together. It was like there was music playing. There was music playing when we decided what our name was going to be. And I think that the second we heard the name, all of us kind of felt that like heat inside of us that made us so excited. It's like we had this like identity with this group now that we couldn't wait to share. So I'm so happy that 41 of you showed up for our first broadcast. I really hope that you're as excited about this as we are. I don't care if nobody watches this for the next however long we do this. I'm hoping that we do it for a very, very, very long time. I would do it just to hang out with these women. So I'm excited that you guys all showed up for our first broadcast. If you didn't watch it all the way through, please go back to the beginning. And again, like I said, if you were on it tonight, reach out to us and let us know. We want to hear from you. We're excited to share with you. This is all about you and our whole Scentsy family and community and how much we love it, and we're hoping that we can pour positivity into that community and that you guys will all benefit from it in some way. So does anybody else have anything to add?
I just wanted to add that make sure that you guys stay tuned. You know, this initial show, if you will, we wanted just you to get to know our hearts and get to know each of us a little bit more. And then in our future shows, we're going to be sharing, you know, some more meat and some more trainings and just all the things that we think are going to help you guys grow, not only as individuals but as business owners as well. So stay tuned for more meat and have your notepads ready for the next one.
I love it. We have not decided what that's going to be about yet, but
well, and I think it's going to be fun that some of them might just be us talking back and forth and sharing ideas on a particular topic. So I think it's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dawn.
Well, these are Katie's suggestions on topics because she's got some good stuff for us to discuss.
I'm psyched.
I printed it.
Like after a reunion, we're probably just going to be going nuts and talking. So be prepared for that one.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, I clicked
We're
on
really
Jamie.
going to need our Firefly paddles then.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to need our little firefly signs.
Yeah, we're going to have firefly signs. So we're doing this the first Monday of every month at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. That's 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Pacific, and if you are further east than me, I'm sorry. I love you still. But I hope that you guys are going to join us first Monday every month. Get psyched. We're going to have the glow, and I'm really excited to share this journey with all of you because I think that's exactly what it's going to be. So with that said, I think we should just say goodbye and good night and peace out. And
I don't want to say goodbye.
That's what
I know.
The glow.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Glow out.
Good night.
Love you guys. Good night.
Bye.